Hi, this is Tomo from Honey Music School. How are you? So, what makes J-pop? In this video, I like to take 4 elements and analyze what is J-pop. First element is melody. Second element is lyrics. Third element is instrumental tracks. And the fourth element is chord progression. In our actual lessons in J-pop course, we'll actually go deeper into each of the elements and the other elements that may be characteristic of J-pop music, but due to limited time today, we'll just take those 4 that I just mentioned before. So, without further ado, let's go into our analysis. So the first element I said was melody. So let's listen to the melody and think about what are the characteristics. Here we go. So what are the elements that we need to think about in terms of melody? Well, let's look at the notes that are used. So from a scale perspective, right? So what scale is this melody using? In order to understand the scale, you need to understand the key this song is in. Also, you need to look at the rhythm, right? Where do the strong beats come? Do they come on the beat? Are they off beat, syncopated? Right? So you can analyze the melody from that perspective. Many of the Japanese songs, traditional Japanese songs, the strong beats were on the beat. So since this is a 4-beat song, the important elements of the melody used to fall on the beat. Now, if you look at this, there are syncopated notes. So this is going to be a combination between the on beats and the off beats. So there's going to be a balance, right? There's going to be a percentage of the on beats and the off beats. So that's kind of the way you want to look at the rhythm of the melody, right? So think about that, and you can listen to the music and go further into it on your own. All right, so now we're going to look at lyrics. So this song is Plastic Love by Mariya Takeuchi, right? The lyrics here in Japanese, and then we call it the Romaji, so the phonetic representation using the English alphabet. So I'm just going to read you the lyrics, right? And listen to it. You've already seen the pitch and the rhythm of the melody, so the lyrics are obviously going to go on top of the melody. Listen to how the lyrics use the consonants, especially the strong consonants, and the vowels and the strong vowels. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 突然のキスや熱い眼差しで恋のプログラムを狂わせないでね. Right? So just those first 2 lines. 突然, right? Very strong consonant. 突然. Some are on the offbeat, as we mentioned before. Some are on the beat. So the first と is on the offbeat, right? And then the つ is on the onbeat, right? And you can look at it from that perspective. There are strong consonants such as kiss, right? K. Atsui, here's another TSU, right? Atsui. Manazashi, so zashi. Those are strong consonants as well. Koi no pu. Pu is a very strong consonant. Puroguramu wo kuru ku. K. Kuruwase. S. Naide. So let's take the pitch. So 1, 2. So I'm gonna sing along maybe without the music, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 突然のキスや熱い眼差しで恋のプログラムを狂わせないでね. Right? So think of how the lyricist created the sounds. Of course, the meaning, right, is important, but the lyricist can also play around with the sound of the lyrics, right? And that's kind of similar to what we do in the English lyrics. Now, let's look into the meaning of the lyrics, right? Because the meaning is very important as well. Plastic Love was created in 1984. That's the era when the Japan economy was booming. We called it the bubble economy. In the early 90s, the inflation rate in Japan was monstrous, 17, 18, 19%. In 1984, the inflation rate came down to 9.5%, which is obviously very high still compared to our modern standards, right? Interest rate was at 8%, right? Right now in Japan, over the past 10 years in Japan, the interest rate was hovering below 1%, like was a fraction of a percent. These days, hovering around 1%, but very low. So you can understand in 1984, with the bubble economy, money was superfluous. People were enjoying the luxury. Everything was booming and growing, and everybody was spending money. A very famous disco, a luxurious disco in the heart of Tokyo, Roppongi, Maharaja, that was established in 1984. It became sort of the standard, also represented this bubble economy in Japan. So the lyrics obviously reflect that era in Japan and especially in Tokyo. Right. So this is about plastic love, which means it's artificial. It's on the surface, right? Superficial, artificial, right? Not real love. The main character of this song probably lost their love, right? Had serious love, which did not materialize. So was very heartbroken. So. In order not to hurt oneself, obviously trying to protect any further emotion coming in, so became very plastic, right? So the meaning of these 4 lines, for example, right? My actions right now are very artificial and programmed. So this is I'm running under a love program for this love, right? Which I'm going to protect myself, and don't try to screw up my program with a sudden kiss or a passionate look, right? The meeting and the parting is nicely programmed, so don't screw up my program. When the time comes, this is going to end. So don't hurry. That's what this says. So very much reflects the time, 1984 in Tokyo and Japan. So that's the lyrics. Now let's look at the third element, which is instrumental tracks. So there are many tracks that are in the song, but I've just selected the key ones, right? We're going to look at, let's just look at bass, for example, all right? So here's the bass part. Let's listen to the bass part. Okay, so you can see the rhythm here. We talked about the beats being on beat and off beat. And the bass obviously gives you the root of the chord. We'll talk about the chord later, right? You can see, compared to the melody, right, there's a lot more offbeats. The beats are also more granular, right, using 8th notes and 16th notes. And the 16th notes are used on the offbeats as well, which gives you this drive, which gives you the drive and the emotion, the impetus, right? Going to the next step. So that's the bass, right, which gives you sort of the flavor. And if we add the drums, right, you'll see more of the rhythm, which supports the chord, the guitar that we'll get into later, and the melody. So let's listen to the bass and the drums. So the characteristic of the combination of the drums and bass, right, is sort of the offbeat, tan da 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 da, right, ta da 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 da, right here, ta da 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 ta 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 da 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 da. Both of these are offbeat, da 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 ta ta. This one's also offbeat, right? Okay, now let's look at so that sort of determines the drive, because bass and drums are rhythm section. Also rhythm section, but now we're getting more into the counter melody, if you will, right? Let's listen to guitar 1, right, which you'll hear on the right side, right channel. So I call this the ear candy or ear fluff, right, which complements not only the chord, not only the melody, but also the rhythm. It's a very important element in this song. Let's listen to it. Right. So you can see a lot of commonality between the melody and the bass, but it also has different rhythm, right? Using different notes from the scale or the chord. So that's guitar number 1. Let's get guitar number 2, which you'll hear on the left-hand side. Right, okay. So these two guitar, on both sides, just as an accent, or just supports the melody and the chords. They're used not only as, again, I said, element of the chord, also counters the melody, right, supports the melody, and is also used as a rhythm instrument, right? So let's listen to the 4 tracks that we just talked about, right? Bass, drum, and the 2 guitars. Right. So there's an intricate balance between each instrument, right? Bass drum basically supporting the whole song, and then you're going to have the guitars supplementing that or augmenting it. Right. Okay, so the last element 4, which is chord progression. So let's look at the chords. I'm going to play the chord instrument. Right. You can look at the keyboard. You can look at the notes below on the score. So let's go. Right. So let's analyze the chords. So the first chord, right, is a G. Oops. So it's basically a G. This is the G triad. And then we're going to have the 7th. So it's a G minor 7th, right? But this song adds on top of this note. So this is the 1st, 3rd, 5th, and the 7th, right? This one This one is one above one, right? So it adds a tension. So what tension is it, right? It's the ninth, right? So it's a G minor seventh, add 9, right? And you can hear this. The ninth gives you the minor seventh gives you the minor seventh add 9 gives you this this conflict here, right? It's kind of a dissonance because it's just a half a note above or a half a note below the third, right? And then it's a whole note above the first, right? The first degree note, which is the G. So these 3 notes play together. You're going to have this mush, right, of sound. But when you add this, right, sounds good, right? So this is a G minor 7th add 9, and it gives that special flavor. And the next chord, right, let's look at it. So the bass also played the C, so it's got to be a C chord, right? So it has a C, G, which is the 5th degree note of the C chord, has the E. So it's right. So that's the triad for the C major chord, right? And then what does it have, right? Also has the B flat, right? So same thing as the first chord, which G minor 7th adds 9th, which had the B flat. Here's the E, right? So you can see it's a C 7th, right? But adds also this one. So this one, these 3 notes, G, A, and B flat, remains the same as the first chord, which is the G minor 7 add 9th, right? So the root went from G to C, right? So just this movement gives you that feeling of the root moving from the G to the C, right? You still have that mush sound, right? From the tension. What tension is this, right? It was the 9th for the G minor 7th chord, right? But now the root is a C, so this is going to be the 13th, right? And then here's the E, right? That's component, the triad component from chord C 7th, right? Now there's another note, right? Look at this. Here it is, C sharp. Ooh. That's it. I'm going to add the C sharp. Ooh, what's this? So I'm just going to play a C 7th, right? Ooh, gives that mysterious sound, right? So what's this, right? From a C, it's a C sharp, which is a flat 9th, right? So it's a C 7th flat 9th, add 13th. So it's adding the 13th and the flat 9th. So it gives that very mysterious feeling, right? So the G minor 7th add 9th and the C 7th add flat 9th and 13th gives you this mysterious sound above, right? The rhythm that has both the on-beat and the syncopated off-beat. And this sort of reflects the era that we talked about earlier, which is the bubble economy, right? People were spending money, people are having a good time dancing in Maharaja, in Tokyo, right? So we went through the 4 elements, right? So let's just listen to the chord again. Let's try to listen to that, the 9th, right? The flat 9th, the 13th. Okay, so that wraps up the fourth element, which is chord progression. So we went through the four. So hopefully this helps you dissect, right, this song, Plastic Love by Mariya Takeuchi. And if you find this type of information analysis interesting, if you want to apply the analysis to other J-pop songs, please come join us. Give it a trial. It's a free trial lesson. And if you like it, and if you want to learn some more, if you want to think, if you want to analyze together with me, come join in our lessons. All right, the trial lesson link is in our website, so you can find it here. So that's it for today. Hope to see you soon. This is Tomo from Honey Music School. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hi guys, thank you so much for watching this video. We are the music school which can learn songs and the Japanese language at the same time. All members are native Japanese teachers. We look forward to hearing from you. Bye bye.